Okay. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're watching from. It is 10:11 a.m. in St. Louis. Let me make sure things are working. Uh-oh. Okay, I think they're working. Had to refresh the YouTube stream. But I should be live on Twitch and YouTube. Hello to Rosen's Positive Energy. Was actually here in chat like about half hour ago. I am starting early. The schedule just starts at 10:30. So about 18 minutes early. And I'm going to join the hourly rapid arena. Actually late joining. Tournament started just over 10 minutes ago. The goal today is to play some instructive chess. I might play this person first round, or this person. A couple of national masters just joined like right after me. Or maybe they'll play each other and I'll play someone else. I hope everyone's doing well. As usual, when this stream ends, the timestamps of the games will be on the YouTube VOD, like as chapters. Sometimes it takes a little time to get them, but they'll be there eventually. And first opponent, title player, Goodnight Rookie. Played once before. And I think we're going to have a Jobava London. I'll play my usual on C5. Yeah, this is a topical line these days. I'm going to play Knight D7. This is a move I discovered several months ago, maybe about a year ago. And I discovered this move because it is not mentioned in Neruditsky's Jobava London course, but it's one of the best engine moves. Now, Queen D4, I'm pretty sure I can play Pawn E5 here. Still going off memory. I think Queen D5 is slightly more accurate, because then Pawn E5 is not as strong. So the point is, I'm, of course, forking the queen and bishop. If takes on E5, I can take on C5. And if queen takes E4, then I think I still take on C5. There might be queen A5 to throw in. To be honest, I don't remember too much beyond pawn E5, but hopefully I can figure it out. Queen takes E4, takes... There is some gambit potential, like I could maybe lose a pawn. But there's cases where I castle and try and punish white on the E-file. Yeah, hello to everyone joining early. Well, we see some offbeat openings today. I'll be open to taking opening recommendations if people have favorite openings. Yeah, maybe I'll try and play a different opening every game. So queen takes E4. I guess it's a question. Like, do I take immediately or do I throw in queen A5? Like, I can't really play queen A5 in this line because bishop C3 comes with check. So bishop C5, bishop E5. Taking on F2 doesn't work. I think I would just castle. White castles. And then maybe like rook E8. Okay, still going off intuition. mean, inherently this is risky to play such a move. So white castle's first. I could play queen e7. Looks pretty solid. Break the pin, defend the pawn.
To my boss, I will be taking an early lunch because Rosen is live.
Oh, enjoy your early lunch. Happy 2 years to James Black. First resub of the stream. Appreciate it. Okay, so bishop to g3. Does defend the pawn as well. Yeah, now it's time to castle. Bishop d3 might be coming, threatening mate. But f5 might be coming to threaten the queen and maybe to eventually trap the bishop. Now, when I play f5, I do expose this diagonal, but any check is met with king h8. Okay, knight f3 does make sense. This pawn's a target. Yeah, that's actually a good move. Because now if f5, there's check, and then I lose this pawn. Although maybe we trade? There's some weird lines. I'm also considering king h8 first. Okay, let me focus here, f5. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Misha. Get to your message in just a moment. So my candidate moves are f5 and f6, or this, or even this. Bishop d3 might be a problem. Knight f6, takes. Then 94.
Awesome, another double live stream. THX for the great content these last 2 weeks.
Oh, thank you. I could play f6 as well. But then bishop d3. I have to figure out how to consolidate. f6 takes. Knight will take. Yeah, it's slightly uncomfortable. f5. Check. There, and then take. Okay, this is a wake-up game for me. 94, bishop d3, take. I'm going to play this. I'm just going to give the pawn and hopefully use my bishop pair, more open position.
Happy Wednesday, Eric.
Happy Wednesday, Duke Snyder. Welcome back. Misha Silverstone asking, what other hobbies do you like to do in your spare time besides chess? I have a lot of hobbies. Tennis, ping pong, photography, a lot of different sports, soccer, bowling. But no time for hobbies right now. I have to figure out how to get compensation. Knight e4. Knight d7 could be an issue. Well, maybe it's just a big trade. So knight d7 takes. And it would be equal material. A 3-on-1 for me on the king side, 3-on-1 for white on the queen side. White would maybe have a slightly more active position. Thank you earlier to Benguela with a prime sub. Adventures in crypto, 32 months. Okay, so f7 is a potential target. Yeah, if I take on f2, do I get punished? It looks risky, but also interesting. I could take with bishop potentially as well. Because white is threatening stuff like this. Yeah, bishop e6. Not exactly what I want to do. White has time for f3 there. All right. I didn't fully calculate this, but I think it's okay. That's not the most promising thing to say when, yeah, it comes down to very forcing variations. So if knight takes f7, the idea would be to play bishop e3 and then knight d2. And then I allow takes and then take back, and white will have some discovery. I'm missing anything? It's super scary, but I'm not seeing how white wins. It's not like I'm getting smother mated. If this were a queen, then I'd be getting smother mated. White could maybe force a draw. Although if I really want to play on, I could like sacrifice back. Probably not the best decision. White's probably going to take some time here. So this would be a draw, like just repeating. I definitely went wrong earlier. Maybe like before white played knight f3, maybe castling was a mistake. Not sure. Okay, but white's playing on. b5? I take... b5, bishop d5. Take bishop f5. I'm going to be down a pawn. Do I load this? This game is definitely a wake-up call. So my rook's pinned. White could take and then play the ending up a pawn. Nice thing for me is if white does take, then it's opposite color bishops, which will lead to more drawish tendencies in the ending. I don't think there's a way for white to win material. It's important that the bishop is blocking the g-pawn. Because if like rook f2, g6, white's not in time to get in g4. I'll probably just king f8. Ready to recapture on f7. I think my biggest problem is time. Time and material. Down a pawn, down about a minute and a half. Rook e7 is going to come eventually. Not the best harmony on the king side. c2 could be a target though. Rook c8 coming. At least tying down white a little bit. Maybe I should have played, what to do? Rook here. Yeah, just have to make sure the rook's not like, infiltrating on the 7th rank. These pawns could be targets eventually. Probably not. There's maybe some debate whether to play a6 or b6. Oh no, I just blundered. Oh, that was a terrible move. Took away the f7 square from my king. Oh, okay, not the best start. I'll try and fight because at least there's a target, but this is not going to end well. The material situation has gone worse.
Thanks for the chill vibes. Even in this position.
Yeah, I don't know how chill I'm going to remain now. What to do? h5, h6.
Hi.
Hello, hello. If you're just joining, I'm in trouble. In big trouble. Yeah, white's converting pretty cleanly. What to do? And check and taking the bishop is probably the simplest. There's really not too many tricks. Probably time to resign. Like the only hope is that they blunder some fork. I'm trying to bait them into checking. At least get the rook to a light square. It's not going to happen though. C2 is playable. Okay. Good game. No stalemate traps. But definitely a lesson to take away. Maybe a few lessons. So the opening was fine. Queen e7 was apparently my first mistake or inaccuracy. Best move, queen h4. Which is kind of cool. Apparently it's equal after this, this, and then this. Maybe g3 is a concession for white. Yeah, I didn't realize like how much pressure I get under like so quickly. I lose a pawn and opponent played well. I actually thought this would be salvageable. Okay, here, yeah, rook f1 was actually like winning on the spot. Because I can't defend f7. And white's going to have some mating attack or win more pawns. So here, yeah, here it's probably like closer to a draw, but then I just blunder rook f7. Just had to give my king a bit more breathing room. Okay, what to do? Moving on. I'm tied for last place. Try and fight back. Not sure if I'll have any chances to win the tournament. But this is a time where I'll look at the chats and see if there's any opening recommendations. What is usual times of streams? So for the next, at least tomorrow, I'm gonna be streaming at the same time. And then I'm gonna be streaming 10 days in a row. Basically around this time during every day of the American Cup, kind of leading up to their broadcast. Okay, let's play e4. See Ponziani, Scotch Gambit, Vienna. Let's play Ponziani. A lot of mentions yesterday during Title Tuesday of people wanting Ponziani. Feels like I haven't played this opening in a while too. Yeah, g6 is not super common. It is playable. It's actually already like a kind of new position for me. I'm wondering if it makes sense to take. I think it makes more sense to keep the tension. Like generally, you don't want to trade queens unless like there's a very clear reason for it. Now there might be ideas of knight g5, maybe bishop g5. Actually, here there's also potential ideas of taking and then winning f7, which no longer is the case. So queen e7. I'm just going to castle. Complete development. Try not to overthink things. Yeah, this move is probably coming. At some point, I might want to play d5. Also kind of wondering about, like, let's say I play h3, takes, takes, and then takes. Can black get away with that? I don't think so. Let's play h3. It's a very typical move for Ponziani when you do have the center. This move deprives this bishop of the only like active developing square. I'll play knight d2. And a4, just grabbing space. This is a more positional approach, like not really going for the throat immediately. I would like to maneuver the knight to g3. But if I play this, then I still have to calculate takes, takes, and takes. I think I have bishop d5 there. And there's no f5 because it's pinned. Yeah, that should be fine. Are you in a different country? No, I just woke up earlier. It's 10:38 a.m. I'm in St. Louis. Shortly after the stream ends, I will be doing in-person commentary at the St. Louis Chess Club for the Champions Showdown event. First day was yesterday. And then later today, I'll be interviewing the players on the official broadcast. So it's going to be a busy day of chess. Okay, maybe queen b3 now. The nice thing about black having committed to a5 is there's no knight a5. So these pieces are safe. Applying a bit more pressure to f7. There's a cool idea to like maybe play knight h4 and then target g6. Like if g5, I still play knight g6. Like sometimes you have to be careful putting the knight here. It's not defended, aligned with the queen. But if knight e4, I just take back, or even just take on g6. And the normal move to play for black would be king h7, but that leaves f7 undefended. So yeah, basically the king and queen are tied down to f7, and it's not easy to defend g6. So I honestly don't know what black does here. Like for example, g5, knight g6. The queen's almost trapped. Queen g8, and then I take on f7 and win material. Sci-Fon asking, will the tournament at St. Louis Chess Club be streamed somewhere? Yeah, it's on the St. Louis Chess Club YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure I linked the stream in the YouTube description too, so you can look for the link there. King f8. Somehow I didn't see this move coming. That does defend. If only this knight could attack g6.
Perfect time for a badly needed after-work stream. Thank you, Eric.
My
Less
pleasure.
than 3.
Welcome back, Freebird. Okay, what to do here? I don't think sacking works. d5, there's knight d8. Thinking just bishop e3. I do allow the position to get complicated. Like this move might be possible. The calculation would be knight takes e4, probably knight takes g6, takes, and takes. And then I either take back or move here. And then the king's a bit more open, the rook's aligned with the queen. Black is turning into a cocoon. I mean, one reason why I played this is to potentially have ideas of bishop c5 someday. So I'm going to take. I just need something supporting c5. Which isn't so easy. So let's just improve my one piece that wasn't doing anything. Okay, queen b5 is an option. I think I'll go for queen b5. Idea bishop c5. I guess Bach's going to play this. Oh, but then there's a beautiful move. Let me just make sure it works. I think either knight to f5. And this should trap the queen. I'm controlling the file and the diagonal. No mercy. To be honest, I didn't see this coming like until like right before 96 was played. The tactics finally happened. It took patience. Like I was trying to set up tactics like many moves ago. But sometimes when you just keep improving the pieces, tactics will naturally occur once the pieces are optimized. I don't see how black can get anything. I mean, black could play this and get the rook for the queen, but it's not enough. b5 only delays the inevitable. So if I can win this game, I'll no longer be tied for last place. But it's going to be hard to climb my way up. It's just the nature of rapid chess. Yeah, queen d8 is probably the best move. The rook is a bit more valuable than the knight. Although in this case, the knight might be more valuable from f5. It's Misha again. He has Rosen. Yeah, whatever that means. Rosen, risen. My rating has reduced, but now it's hopefully going to recover maybe a little bit. I don't know if I want to trade bishops. And go for bishop c5. This enables a potential rook lift. There's also ideas of bishop e7. I'm actually just realizing I did sacrifice a knight. So black does have what? Rook and knight for queen and pawn. For some reason I thought I had just had queen for rook. But that's still enough to be winning. I'll take on f6. I'll win h6. Yeah, still kind of waking up a bit. Maybe I could take here. This could maybe backfire. Yeah, there's no reason to complicate things. Wasn't sure about takes and then like knight f4. So here I attack the bishop, pressure the pawn. Now this is a triple attack. Expecting rook d2. Probably going for counterplay. There's actually a calculation. Rook d2, I take c6, I take, and then b6. And the queen is, I think, driven away from defending the knight. But that's not happening. It's actually kind of similar here, like c6 takes and then b6. I don't think it's good to take on e5. I'll take on a5. And there's rook d1, we trade. There's a question, anyone know the Russian name for rook? Ladya. I'm not sure if that translates to like tower, because in Spanish it's torre, I think. And this is my con, or caballo in Spanish. Some languages I know the chess pieces. Okay, now this might actually work. Any concern takes. Because c6 I just take. It was different when the pawn was on b7, because then c6 was guarded. Okay, so we're simplifying. Maybe lose b2. Rook lift. I just want to go for the kill now. Rook g3, queen h5. King is running. The king actually finds shelter on e7. So I want to play queen h6 and cut off the f8 square from the king. Queen defends f2. I think this is most precise. I'm threatening mate in 2 now. Will you be pushing to GM this year? I'm not actively trying to get the title, but I'm hoping to at least learn more and improve my game in some way this year. I could just win on time. I'm looking for the mate. I guess rook g3 and then like h4, h5. Okay, GG. Nice game. Hopefully a nice example of how to like play positionally, be patient, and then like work your way towards middle game tactics. Got a nice active position, more space. Started making threats. Engine doesn't like this move. Maybe because this crazy line is okay for black. It takes. I was gonna take back with pawn, I think. And then. Oh, doesn't quite work that way. Yeah, I was mainly calculating knight takes e4. But takes first is interesting as well. Yeah, what happened in the game was nice. The black played b6, engine says it's equal. Is preventing these ideas. Okay, moving on. My first win of the tournament and of the stream. What openings do people want to see from the black side? Played this opponent once before. I won. I don't know what opening that was. All right, let's play Scandi. I know there's a lot of Scandi enjoyers. I do play the Scandinavian a bit different than a lot of other people who play the Scandi. Because I think queen takes d5 is a bit more popular. But this line is fun too. Actually, not sure if I'm supposed to take with queen or knight. Take with queen. Okay, so I win back the pawn. We are trading a lot. Yeah, this is very common for Scandinavian, is to castle queenside. Now it's opposite side castling. And white's already a little bit passive. Like, even though we've simplified a bit, I might be able to punish white right away. If the d-pawn is pinned, I have the battery. Thank you, Bodeka, the super chat. At a high level, how hard is it to improve? I'm 1600 Lichess. It's simple for me to study tactics, openings. Is it harder to get that edge at your elo? Yeah, that's a good question. I would say, yeah, most people have like a logarithmic rating curve. If you look at any player's rating graph over time, you improve when you're lower and then it kind of tapers off. So generally, like the higher rated you are, the harder it is to gain more elo at the same rate. And at the higher levels, it's definitely much smaller differences that separate players. Okay, let me figure out what to do here. I can elaborate. Play h6. Oh, actually, wait. White's threatening to take a pawn. This is actually tricky. Bishop here. Threatening to maybe take in this and this. Feels like there's a lot of tactics that almost work. Bishop d6. There's also f5. f5 gives white time to like, connect and defend. The nice thing about f5 is I prevent knight takes e4, and then I'm ready to play h6. All right, let's go for this. The queen also covers the square. Yeah, now h6. And white has no time to take because I take and then eventually take the knight. Yeah, I would say like as you reach higher elos, then the deficiencies in your game or the weaknesses in your play are sometimes a bit harder to identify. And it really takes a matter of analyzing your games, figuring out like tendencies in your play, and then working on your weak areas. Sometimes it's calculation or positional understanding or openings or endgames. I have g6. It leaves the rook like kind of hanging, but looks interesting. That position's getting spicy. G6 takes rook g. I guess there's queen e6. I have f5. Creating the pin. Does allow queen h3, but then king b8, and then I lose a pawn. Yeah, queen h5 is resourceful. Another idea is just to sack, like just take the knight, lose a rook, bishop d6. It's tempting. It might not be good, but it does look a lot more enjoyable to play. I'm going to take. I might regret this, but I also might just win like pretty quickly from here. A lot of attacking ideas against the king. Okay, so bishop d6. Would sack a pawn. Maybe I'm sacking too much. Play knight d4 immediately. Start with this. I'm sacking the g pawn. I feel like I'm playing a little bit recklessly today, but maybe maybe it'll pay off. So the one issue is I want to use the h file, but it's not easy to get my rook to h8. Opponent, I don't know if that was a blunder or the queen definitely wasn't trapped there. Maybe they just didn't realize my queen could move backwards. Okay, so I have queen and knight for two rooks and a pawn. Just make some loot for the king. Go after this pawn. It'd be nice to get my knight to f3. So one plan is bishop d4, trade bishops. Slowly but surely. Or quickly but surely. Yeah, I think objectively white was probably much better before giving the queen. Maybe +1 or 2. So I'm threatening mate in 3 or 4. Actually, maybe it's not force mate. Here, here, here. White could delay it with like this and then h4. Pretty close to force mate. Okay, I guess en passant. My queen's not going to be infiltrating, but the pawn gets pretty far. Getting this. So if rook goes back, it's mate in 2. If king goes here, it's mate. Maybe next move. Maybe white will spite check. Okay. Well, GG, probably not the cleanest game. I'm curious about the valuation of this position. Yeah, +2 in white's favor. Was I already like in trouble after h6? Yeah, I missed queen h5. I saw this position from a distance. I assumed the knight would have to retreat. Queen h5 is just really strong. And then, yeah, bishop d6 was a mistake as well. I see the comment from Obese Reese in chat saying there's a funny line. Instead of rook g8, there's bishop e5. Takes. And if white takes this, I have knight f3. But this isn't actually winning because even though I win the queen, white still has 2 rooks for it and some pawns. But still a funny line. Okay, moving on. Back to tournament 169. 49 minutes left. Okay, some people asking for openings. Alakine, please. Accelerated Dragon. Any tips for 2 rooks versus queen? If you have the 2 rooks, you should really try and coordinate them. Create the battery, make sure they're not loose and susceptible to tactics. If you have the queen, you should try and find the best square for it. Look for the opponent's weaknesses. Very important to see the whole board, regardless of which side you're playing. Okay, I'll berserk, and I'll play... See one person, actually a few people on YouTube saying Scotch. Let's play a Scotch. Or a Scotch Gambit. Bishop c4 would be the Scotch Gambit. I'm going to play a mainline Scotch. Yeah, this is already a little bit passive for black. I guess this kind of transposes into a Philidor. Oh yeah, if you're not familiar with Berserk, I cut my time in half. But if I win the game, then I get an extra point in the tournament standings. It also like provokes me to play more quickly, so try and get in more games before the tournament ends. Also provokes me to play more aggressively too. So I'm going for another opposite side castling. Casting queen side. F3 is very typical. Maybe wasn't necessary there, but I do eventually want to attack. G4 will come very soon. Maybe H4? Knight D5 also looks attractive. So one of the goals with Knight D5 is to get rid of this bishop. Even though it's a passive piece, if I have a dark square bishop and black doesn't, then very good things can happen for me. There's a line. Okay, are there tactics here, first of all? I take and then take and then take. Like, there's a lot of potential captures. I don't see how I win material. Thank you to Terry. Get to the message in just a moment. Take. I take. F4. I take, and then bishop here, queen d7. I'm going to keep all the tension. Like, there were so many captures. I choose not to take anything. I play h4, which is kind of a pawn sacrifice. The idea would be if takes, I play g3. Idea queen h2. I'm just realizing g3 would also be undefended. But the more pawns that are lost, the more files are opened, so bodes well for attacking. So Terry said, wait, let's actually focus here. Yeah, I don't have much time. I did berserk. I could maybe take here. Because the queen is, or is and was kind of overworked. So if takes, I take the bishop. Rook c8, I take this bishop. If takes here, I might even take the rook. To be determined. The message was, I'm 2050 rapid. What are generally the best things to do on that level to improve? And what are the most common mistakes? Yeah, 2050 rapid is like, it's a rating where you definitely understand like good fundamentals, you don't blunder too much. Sometimes it's hard to speak in general terms because at that level, maybe I can generally say that there's still like weaknesses, like clear weaknesses of players. And a big part of getting better is being self-aware and understanding what areas you need to improve on. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take with a pawn. So the general advice would be to like play longer games, review the games that you play. You can do this with a coach or on your own. And then see where things are going wrong. Like, are you getting bad positions from the opening? Are you blundering tactics? Do you not understand like plans in the middle game? And then try and work on your weak areas. If it's openings, then there's a lot of resources across the internet, free and paid, to build a good opening repertoire. If it's middle games, then one of the best things you can do is like look at the games of top players, find a player whose style you want to emulate. Thinking queen f4 here. Simply attacking the bishop. I would say it's also good to keep a balance when like studying and trying to improve. Like doing tactics is good, but then having some focus on like endgame and opening and game analysis. You also want to just have fun in the process as well. I probably just want to take here. Let's take here. I do allow the trade. But look at this D file. So hopefully some of what I said like gives some value. But there's no like one singular best way to get better at chess. A lot of it is understanding yourself and how you learn best. There's almost a funny checkmate. Almost have this like what's it called? Anastasia's mate. Doesn't quite work with the knight having access to h5 though. But I am threatening to take on d7 and knight e7. Maybe in some cases knight f6 as well. We might see rook c d8. Of f4. Getting spicy. Oh no, my pawn. There's not too many options for the queen. I want to take here and say, oh no, my queen, but there's queen takes d1. Actually, it still works. I'd win a piece. Okay. Anything better? I should move quickly. Yeah. Oh no, my queen. If black takes it immediately, then it's made in two. Like, it might look like I'm just looking to win back the queen. But yeah, rook h7 is coming. So black has one legal move. Not sure if we'll see the move played or resignation. Hopefully not flagging or abandonment, but you never know. I think this checkmate has a name too. Arabian mate? Like, this is one of the oldest checkmates in chess with a knight here, rook here, and king in the corner. Because like an old version of chess, the rook and knight were the most powerful pieces. So it's a nice mating pattern. Okay, opponent resigns. I gain a rating point. GG. Pretty smooth game. Maybe I missed some stronger opportunities. Engine says I made 2 inaccuracies. Stronger is knight c6. Okay. And then here, queen c3 was stronger. Okay. So nothing major. Back to tournament. Just under 37 minutes. Top 100. Got the berserking points. Yeah, so because I berserked and I'm on a streak, I got 5 points for that win. If I didn't berserk, I would have 4 points. So I have 9 points total. Leader has 28. If I want to try and win the tournament, I have to win every game within a few minutes, which is very difficult to do in rapid chess. But I'll berserk again. This time I'll probably play even more aggressively. Let's play a King's Gambit. There's got to be at least one King's Gambit enjoyer. Thank you to JFM Bearcat. So the more common move is knight f3, but bishop d4 is arguably a more aggressive line. I did allow queen h4. I would play king f1. Wow, d5. This might actually be okay for black. Play this. Take. Maybe I should just retreat. I don't think trading was actually good for me. There's a line where I take on g7, but the bishop comes in. I don't usually play King's Gambit, so I might not have the best feel for the opening. Now queen h4 is probably a bigger threat, so let's stop it. I am down a pawn, but there's a prospect of this or this, and then winning back f4. This move may have been possible there. We'll analyze after the game. Like bishop h4, knight f2, maybe even win material for black. But now I'm feeling very comfortable. I won back the pawn, more space and development, and maybe some attacking potential. I would say, though, my opponent's playing well for the rating. Equal material. I think white is probably only slightly better here. Okay, now there's some opportunities. I think I'm going to cash in. Almost trapping the queen. Queen has one safe square. And then I'll take on c7. Or this happens. Yeah, now life is very good. Still attacking the queen, up a piece. All these pieces are defended to take a pawn. Yeah, the gifts keep coming. There was a question earlier in chat, like tips for 600 elo. The biggest tip is to like really try and minimize blunders and not give away things for free. Really at any rating level, like below, say below 1400, a lot of games are determined by like one move blunders. I have to be careful here. If I play this, I get mated. Yeah, controlling the key squares. Just seeing the previous opening requests. Every game so far has been a different opening. I've had a nice variety. Okay, getting closer to mate. Knight f5. Attacking the queen. Maybe eventually going to be targeting g7. Other knight can come in as well. Opponent's offering the queen trade. Start with a check. It's a little bit awkward to like avoid the queen trade. So I think I just allow it. And there's still mating ideas. Like g6 is very natural, but this runs into this. And it should be mate within a few moves. Okay, GG. I could have been in trouble in the opening. My opponent, I think, played this very strong move, d5, which is typical idea. Yeah, if the knight moves, then I'm probably a bit happier. But then there was a moment later, too. Like when I played d3, like right after I played this, I realized there's bishop h4 check, which usually isn't so concerning. But in this case, I don't really have g3 because takes, and then this is a threat. If I play king f1, there's knight f2. Oh, but this is apparently okay. Okay, this is probably fine. Like knight c5, engine says black's better, but yeah, white would be surviving. But it did look scary. So moving on. I got more berserking points, top 40. So I did play a Ponziani earlier. Probably one of the nicer games of today. A Ponziani, King's Gambit, a Scandi. I played against Obava London. Oh, it's Terry again. Who says "thank you" or "dank you"? Thank you, as we say in Flemish. I have one more question. After the game, could you quickly show how to react to a pawn attacks on a castled king? It's very hard to answer in general terms. Because very often it depends. I mean that if the opponent is trying to like pawn storm against your castled king, usually you should respond in the center. Because the center is usually where more of the action takes place. So I guess that would be the general advice. But then the other piece of general advice is you just want to ask yourself, like, what is the opponent threatening? Because sometimes they'll push pawns, but they won't have a clear threat. If they don't have a clear threat, then you can kind of do your own thing, focus on improving, making your own threats. Okay, what is this? I think taking is actually fine. Some weird gambit. I'm playing e5 knight c6 because someone in YouTube chat was requesting it earlier. It was America, but spelled in a more cool way. So castling. I think d6. Always have to be careful in these lines that white doesn't like destroy black on f7. I mean, knight g5 might be coming. Question is, can I get away with this? I don't think the usual tactics work. There's queen b3, which is kind of scary. Maybe that's okay. And there is a concern that my opponent's like booked up here. If takes, I take with a knight. I can't take here first because then white's threatening mate. If I take with knight, now there's not queen b3. Queen a4 is not too scary. This also doesn't work. Like, there's this tactic knight g5, but I can take with queen, I think. And white's queen is also hanging. Wow. Yeah, I have no idea if my opponent's bluffing or actually knows what they're doing. So let's calculate. I could play this. It's one option. Taking, I should probably calculate first. What it would take, I play here, and then take, and then here. I'm threatening both rooks and checkmate. All right, let's go for this. I think my opponent's bluffing. I think they have no idea what they're doing. I could be wrong. I could maybe get punished somehow. Like, things are complicated, but it's like one of these poker situations. I feel like my hand is pretty strong. So rook e1, queen f6. Threatening mate in a few. And threatening the rook. Okay, so now I could either take the pawn or take the rook. Or maybe this queen g6 is rook g1. I think this traps the rook. Rook e2 I made in one. That's looking pretty good. I have vague memories of like losing against this line within 15 moves. Like somewhere on YouTube, I think it's on my clips channel. There's a video where like during the game I said I was like studying this and I just got mated. I forget exactly how it happened. Yeah, this clearly backfired for white. Unfortunately, this game didn't really provide any examples of how to respond to like a pawn attacking against a castle king. But hopefully what I said at least gives some value. E5. Okay, I didn't quite see that move coming, but I could either take... Here's this. Taking looks pretty natural. If I take the rook, queen can't really take back without allowing mate. But white is trying. Maybe I should castle queenside. Okay, opponent resigns. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for black. It's -5 in the final position. This has been played in master level play, like over the board games. Kramnik actually had this position as black. Wow, so this position is playable. If white takes here, queen f6, queen d2. Wow. So if I take this rook, the queen gets trapped. Only move not to be worse is castling. Yeah, maybe I could have been in trouble. So maybe my opponent wasn't bluffing. They just didn't know what to do in this position. Like this would have been a good line for white if white followed up correctly. Okay. Moving on. Back to tournament. Again, if you have opening requests, I've been trying to fulfill as many as possible. Oh, how to defend against the pawn storm if the bishop is fianchettoed, shadowed, or fianchettoed, I should say. Sometimes you just ignore it. Sometimes like you move your H pawn up 1 or 2 squares to slow the opponent down. But it's hard to generalize. Opponent's having a good tournament. I'm berserking though. What to play? Let's play a modern. G6. It's one of the easiest openings to learn. I'm also playing this because maybe we'll get a real situation where I can answer this question about a fianchettoed bishop versus a pawn storm. A modern opening. There's probably a few ways to play this. Play a6 and go for b5. Sometimes c6 preparing b5 is also playable. But there's cases where I want to play c5 in one go, so some argument that a6 is a bit more useful. And this maybe does violate like basic principles that were taught, that you shouldn't be moving flank pawns so early. But I'm just trying to grab some space, develop actively, going for the double fianchetto. There's a question from John Burr. Do you play the Pirtz? Or some people call it the perk. This is very similar to the Pirtz. But usually it involves a knight committing to f6 earlier. It's not an opening I usually play. But once in a while, play knight d7 here. So opponent's doing kind of the very classic solid development in the center. I'm doing the more modern approach. Am I following the Gotham chess course? I know Levy has a course on the modern. I also know Hikaru sometimes likes to play these setups in Blitz. There's a lot of strong players that like this for faster chess. Just easy to get this set up early and have a dynamic game. So imagine white will like castle, maybe keep trying to improve. I'll play this. Just if white castles queenside, then I'm in better shape to attack. I also didn't want to play knight f6 and allow this. Like, there's cases where the king might just be safer in the center. And b3 is solid. But b3 kind of weakens a diagonal. Not sure if I can punish this. I'm going to try. I'm going to sack a pawn c5. And very often when you have the bishop here, it does combine nicely with this pawn chain. If white wants to take the pawn, then takes and takes. I was calculating rook c8. Then c3 is a bigger target. Get b4, I have knight a4. The opponent's taking their time. Castling. Okay, so I could take and then we trade a bit. I think it makes sense to take. We're actually transposing into like some kind of dragon Sicilian. And the Sicilian is usually defined by black not having a c pawn, white not having the d pawn. Now I'm less concerned about white attacking me because white's castle queenside. So I'm okay to also castle kingside. Like if the rook were still on h1, then h4, h5 could be scary because then there's potential later for the mating attack. In this case, there's really no attack. Like we trade bishops and life goes on. Although maybe there's f4, so maybe white can still try and pawn storm. f4 right away walks into this, so I wasn't really trying to like anti-stream snipe bait my opponent into blundering, but maybe it's just a coincidence. I was more referring to like takes, and then f4. But that was a free bishop. All right, let's bring the bishop back and try and win more material. Actually threatening some fun move. White could still try and like throw pawns at me. But now I'm winning more material. Queen's attacked. And it's driven away from defending the knight. Thank you to Magna. Happy 20 months. If you're just joining, we are approaching the end of the tournament. I think we'll have time for one more game after this one. 11 minutes left in the tournament. Yeah, I'll be winning even more material. Assuming King H1 is played.
Hello.
I could take the knight. But I think stronger is knight e5. Saving my knight, attacking the queen. And there's no way for the queen to defend this knight. Hello to AC Virga. Happy 8 months. Also, Asian Invasia. Welcome back. Happy 26. Okay, this knight was no longer serving a purpose on b6. Better to do work on the king side. I did allow this and then this. Thank you, T.W. Murphy. Wow, all these subs. First time Prime.
Rosen, let's go.
Also, thank you, Tachi Kuma. All these, where are all these subs coming from? Yeah, if you're watching on Twitch and you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. Support the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, you can also subscribe for free, which also helps support the channel. Makes the algorithm happy. Or just hit the like button. It's free as well. Oh, I was about to blunder a bishop. Is my opponent secretly subbing on multiple accounts to distract me? Make me blunder pieces. Okay, so my plan is king g7, rook h8. And
Let's go,
then
Eric.
maybe checkmate. Thank you, Rare Cheesecake. Another Prime sub. Happy 5 months. And bicarbon, another first time Prime. There's a question about knight f2 check earlier, which would have allowed the trade. Like I would have given my 9 bishop for rook. Still be winning for black, but at this point I'm trying to win the game quickly, so it's, I think, to my benefit to keep pieces on the board. Just for the mating attack. Thank you to Toad Tickler, another first time Prime. The plan is probably to eventually win this pawn. Maybe I could have won it a few moves ago. Maybe not. It's a fancy move. Yeah, my g-pawn's pinned. Now it's kind of a fork. All right, I'll take with knight. So I've only lost 2 pawns this game. I still have all my minor pieces, all my rooks. Only gets better. Okay. Yeah, there are some fun mating ideas coming. Let's go back to tournament. Time for one more game. I love playing the dragon, but Sicilian has way too much theory. Yeah, at the high level, it's like Sicilian is pretty theoretical, but I think if you're below master level, the dragon or accelerated dragon is probably one of the easiest Sicilian variations to learn. Because you don't necessarily have to learn specific theory, you can just kind of understand the common plans and where your pieces should go. Okay, we got double berserking, Hero Khan. I'll play a 2 knights attack. A6, yeah, this move has, I think, kind of gone. It's been fashionable recent times. Actually, don't fully understand the point of it, but it's a legal move. Bishop e3, I think, makes sense. I'm just developing. I'm doing what my last opponent did in the opening. The quintessential development. Let's not blunder anything. G4, maybe E5. c5 is quite thematic. Thinking bishop e2. So I break the pin, defend d4 multiple times. Oh, thank you to people who are continuing to sub. I have this knight a4 resource, which should be nice. Almost winning a piece. Almost have b4, but not quite. But maybe? b4 takes queen d2? I'll just win a piece. So it combines the fork and then the pin. And then if this, I take and take and take. Looks like black is a bit unstable. Knight a6 is not possible. Okay, I think this is going to be the final game of the tournament. It's still a question if it counts for the tournament. I don't think it matters what I take with. I'll take with bishop. If I win this game, I finish top 10. I could leapfrog everyone and finish right behind my opponent, actually. We'll see. Yeah, big thank you to Gur58 gifting to Garrett Berger. All right, this is attacked. Go for the queen trade. Then b7's attacked. Also, thank you to Ratchet5 and Nala's Danger. Couple first time primes. How do you know that they're not doing stream sniping? Yeah, that's one of the things with like live streaming my games is sometimes opponents might tune in, but there's only so much you can stream snipe in chess. There's only so much like you can
Finally, I am a
benefit from
GM.
watching
Thanks
someone
for all
stream.
the content.
Like even if I say what my plan is, sometimes it's hard to stop from the opponent's perspective. Thank you to Malefist. Happy 3 years. I'm doing my best to read Twitch and YouTube chat. I do have both open. Yeah, my next several streams will be multi-streamed on Twitch and YouTube. I know some people prefer Twitch, some people prefer YouTube. Trying to make everyone happy. Okay, this game probably not counting for the tournament. Oh no, my pawn. The pawn was takeable because check and then rook c8. How to do this? d1, f4. I've been talking so much, I'm like running out of voice, which isn't a good sign because in about like less than a half hour, I'm going to be doing in-person commentary at the St. Louis Chess Club. I need to conserve some of my voice. Do we trade everything? No, let's keep rooks on the board. I would like to win this game by checkmating rather than winning on time. So to do that, my bishops need to get involved. Opponent's resisting. Almost some kind of zugzwang. E4. The knight is nearly trapped. Actually, the rook is nearly trapped. The rook is trapped. Okay, GG. Gain back some rating. I have to do another rapid tournament and try and gain back more rating, but all right, that concludes the tournament.
Hey, Eric. I
Hey.
played an incredible tactic yesterday that I think you'd enjoy.
Oh.
Winning in 10 moves. 1. d4 d5 2. c4 dx c4 3. e3 nf6 4. bx
Okay.
c4 nbd 7.
Let's see this incredible tactic. I do have to go very soon, but if it's an incredible tactic, we have to witness it. So you sack on f7. You play knight g5. They play king g6. I think king g8 is like maybe just better for black, but king g6, okay. h4, e5. Wait, h4, e5, h5. And e4 checkmate. Nice. That's pretty stylish. There's been no games on Lichess. Oh, wait. Fix the filters. How many games went exactly like this? You found a novelty, pawn h5. Well done. Oh, wait, king e8, knight e6. Wait, is this winning for white? Yeah, this is completely winning for white. I stand corrected. Knight e6 would trap the queen. Wow, that's a cool trap. Over 1,300 people have walked into this position, but only 34 people have found the strongest move. Yeah, this is not a Jerome. This is a much stronger version. Kind of similar to Jerome, but actually makes sense to sacrifice. And if this, there's mating with queen b3. Okay, I have to go. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, I think it worked yesterday. I'm going to end the stream and it should send over the live redirect to the St. Louis Chess Club stream. It's day 2 of the Champions Showdown. I will be on the official broadcast later to interview the players. Yesterday, I interviewed Wesley So, Fabiano, and Ray Robson. And yeah, it should be a fun event. Also, if you're in St. Louis, feel free to stop by the St. Louis Chess Club. Be doing in-person commentary. And let's send over the raid. Make sure that are they live now? Oh yeah, they're on the countdown screen. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I am wrapping things up. Thanks again. And see you guys soon. I'll be live again on my channels tomorrow. Adios.